I'm working on a list counting down the best Cars diecast of 2023, decided by all of you. So make sure you check out the link in the pinned comment to vote for the best new release and re-release of 2023. Answers will be used in an upcoming video. Thank you. When I put Jeremy as an honorable mention in my top 5 worst Cars diecast of 2023 video, I got quite a bit of flack from some of my viewers, with a lot of people disappointed and annoyed that I put Jeremy as an honorable mention. I didn't own him yet at the time, but every image I'd seen online, he just looked way too tall to me, which was really disappointing to me. Jeremy was a car that I was really looking forward to as soon as his name started popping up in leaks and rumors, but as soon as I saw him, I was just disappointed. He looked way too propped up off the ground compared to his height in the show. I just thought he was way too big. And now that I have him in person, I'm very excited to see how I actually feel about him, and if I was correct in thinking that. I even have Cars on the Road pulled up on my laptop right next to me so that we could compare. Am I right? Is Jeremy too tall, or was I wrong? I'm pretty interested in this because it seems me not really liking Jeremy's diecast is kind of an unpopular opinion, and a lot of people really like him. So let's see if taking a closer look at him changes my mind. Hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Jeremy from the 2023 Cars diecast line. He was released both as a single and in a 2-pack with the Chief Disc. I was originally going to wait to get that 2-pack, but considering how rare it's been, as soon as I saw Jeremy's single at Wegmans, of all places, which is a grocery store around here, last week, I knew I had to pick him up. We got his very nice artwork here. I really love Jeremy's design, which is why I was kind of upset when I first saw the diecast, and again, he looked a bit too tall to me, a bit too propped up. Also, just not the biggest fan of his expression. I don't know. But I really do love Jeremy's design. And just looking at him and the packaging, he definitely looks a lot better than he looked online when I first saw him. He's so well detailed. You've got to give it to them just how well made all of the Cars on the Road diecasts have been. It is incredible. Even the ones that don't look that good are still just beautifully molded. Love his artwork here with his giant gun. I never noticed he has a gun on him, and his little Harley Quinn mallet going on there. New for 2023, and on the back, you can see some other releases with Cryptid Buster, McQueen, and Mater, Mateo, Quattrotorquasaur, Griswold, and Nile Speedcone. I've reviewed these 4, haven't gotten my hands on these 2 yet, but with them getting re-released in 2024, hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on them pretty easily. Anyway, let's pop Jeremy out of his plastic prison here, free him, and welcome him to the world. And here he is out of the package, and I like him. He's adorable. Look at him. Okay, forget what I said. I feel like something's a bit off with his expression. I don't think it, like, perfectly matches the character, but I do think it's pretty cute. Maybe he should have had a bit more of a border around his eyes than just the border created by the eye plate. I think he's pretty funny looking. I don't know, something still looks so off with him to me. But he definitely is smaller than he appeared to be online. I think he might be a little too thin around the hood. But here he is next to McQueen, and you could definitely see the issue I said, where I think he's simply too tall. If you look at him in the show, he's definitely not that tall. You know, he's certainly not taller than McQueen. And in this scene, he actually sort of raises himself up a bit, as you can see, and I'm assuming maybe they based him off of one of these shots. Since Jeremy was an item released less than a year after the show came out, I assume that they were only given a few images of him. You know, he was being developed before the show was released, and perhaps they were just sent a few images of these scenes where he's a bit propped up, and they modeled the diecast off of that. I think that is a little unfortunate if that's the case, but I think that's probably the most viable theory. Still, it just makes him way too tall. While he is smaller than I thought he'd be, I just can't get over that height. I do not like how tall he is. But other than that, I think he's really, really great. I guess you could kind of see him as a car that's in an action pose, you know. We've had cars before that are raised up due to poses that they're making. I would just prefer, though, that Jeremy were closer to the ground to continue his small stature. Ow, these are pointy. The spikes on his roof are made out of a soft rubber, and once again, I'm surprised they were able to get away with that because they are honestly pretty spiky if you shove your finger in them. So maybe don't do that. You're not gonna start bleeding or anything, but they are a soft plastic, and I've always complimented Thailand cars for just how good their rust detailing is, and Jeremy is no exception. Rust detailing is exceptional on him. He's got all these little tiny spikes on his hood. In the show, they are definitely a bit, spikier. They have a bit more variety in height. But at this small of a scale, you can't really capture that without the pieces breaking off very easily. He's got a very nervous grin. I do like that expression, and you could see, yeah, look at his base. He's definitely built to look like he's hyped up, he's propped up. And I guess maybe he's a little propped up. He definitely is a little propped up here. You could see that the wheels are certainly not in the rims fully normally, but still, I think he's just a bit too tall. Anyway, on the side, we have his flamethrower, and I love that his bubble is built with a huge, he's at a huge angle, just to fit the fact that he has a giant gun on his side. Again, I don't even remember Jeremy having the gun in the episode, and I think it's so funny that this poor, sweet little car who wants everyone to be friends, he's got a big gun on him. That's a power move. You should be afraid of Jeremy. Ignore his little innocent face. He has a gun. I just once again want to compliment the roof and how good this rust detailing looks and how good the spikes look. It looks like they've even given them a coat of sort of weathered paint to help them add to the rusted look, and that just looks so good, man. This is such a well-made car. I'm so excited to see when we get more Road Rumblers that are a more traditional rusty color, like I think it's Jason Roadkey, the one that was announced a few days back, because I think that car is going to look insanely good. I think one of the main things that makes Jeremy look not as good as he could be is the fact that he's supposed to be light blue, which, and that's the point of him. He's not supposed to look like the other cars. So when we get more of the more intimidating looking Road Rumblers, they're going to look amazing. Also, I think his blue is too light. Moving on to the back, we have even more spikes sticking out of his window. Dang, Jeremy is armed and dangerous. I love the fact that he has no license plate. I hope that's consistent across the Road Rumblers, like they've stripped themselves of their identities. And on the side, we do have his little mallet, which I think should probably be at a higher angle. It is at a higher angle in the show. Maybe now he's sort of pouncing it down. He's ready to strike at you. But yeah, I think it probably should have been a bit higher up. But still, it is a weapon, so it can move. And in the show, it actually, I believe it's actually connected to his wheel. So, much like Dexter Hoover, they've placed it a little behind his wheel. Or, sorry, much like Chris Ostapsky, and Dexter, they've placed it in a bit of a different place in order to allow the car to still roll just fine. And finally, there is a look at the base. I think if you look at this as Jeremy in an action pose, that sort of defeats a lot of my issues with him. This is a car that I think looks really, really good, and I just have little nitpicks about it that stop me from really loving this car. I think he's raised up a bit too much. I think the blue's a bit too light, and this is at a bit of a wrong angle, but those are nitpicks. And if you could look past those little small things, I think that this is one great looking release. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.